Hi everyone and welcome back to Bushel Park Golf Club. So today we're going to be looking at a bunker shot. So now we've returned to golf, we're going to look at, each week we're going to look at a different aspect of the game and hopefully help you lower your scores as everyone starts to return back to a little bit of normality after this pandemic. So what we're going to look at today is two particular bunker shots, one which is off of a compact lie and one which is off more of a fluffy lie. So when we have variations in bunkers, it's always worth testing the sand as you're walking through. We're not looking to stand here and wiggle your feet down, but certainly as you're walking through the sand, you can feel if there's a lot of sand or not. Now, the technique we'll use if there's a lot of sand is going to vary to if there's no sand under the ball. There are some similarities, but ultimately we're looking to get this ball out the bunker in the least amount of shots and get as close as possible. So we need to have an understanding of how this is going to affect each one. So we're going to start with the fluffy lie. So under this ball there is a lot of sand. So that's going to change how much contact I'm going to have with the golf ball and ultimately how much sand is going to come out as we hit this bunker shot. So to play this shot I need to open the club face up. So if we get it starting square, we're going to let the shaft turn and let the club face lay flat on the floor, and that's going to present more bounce to the shot. So as there's more bounce, the club's going to stop itself from digging in too much and it's going to cut through and bounce through the sand itself. So I've got my club face open. Because the face is open, I need to open my body. So my club's pointing to the right of the target, my feet are pointing to the left of the target. Ball's going to go nice and forward in the stance. So from square on, it's going to be up where the driver would be or where the fairway would be. And I'm going to have my weight on my left side. So what I do is I like to point my toe slightly towards the target. So I'm leaning onto my toe just to promote keeping that weight on that left side. Now with a fluffy sand or a lot of sand under the ball, I'm going to need a much longer swing to get this ball up and out onto the green. Whereas when we've got a more compact lie, it's a lot shorter a swing because the club face is going to be slightly squarer. So we'll start with the fluffy lie. I've got the ball forward, weight forward, and the weight is leading onto that left toe. And it's a nice long swing back and through the sand. It's a really elaborate swing because of the amount of sand that we're taking out and the energy that takes to get the ball up to the hole. So I've made my hard pan lie here, so I've got very little sand underneath this golf ball compared to what we had on the fluffy lie. So what I don't want to do here is I don't want to completely open this club face up. If I open the club face up, the bounce becomes too great and that leading edge gets too high off the floor, and where the sand's hard and compact, the club's going to bounce off and more likely to hit the belly of the ball and into the face or over the other side of the green. Now what I do want is I do want to have the club face slightly open, and some people use like a 60-degree lob wedge here because their club face has already got some extra bounce and some extra loft. My club's 58, so I'm going to have the club face ever so slightly open by 4 or 5 degrees. Just to allow some extra bounce and just to keep the shot as similar to my fluffy sand shot as I can. I still want to be hitting down into the sand, so I'm still going to get this ball to come out on a cloud of sand, but the ball is going to come out slightly faster, so the swing length that I need is going to be slightly shorter compared to that of the fluffy sand lie. So the more contact that I'm going to have, or the less sand I'm going to have, so the more contact we're going to have to the golf ball, the less energy this shot needs. So if we have real deep bunkers with lots of sand, we're going to need a very long, elaborate swing. When there's very hard or wet sand and the ball's sitting on top, we don't need as long a swing because more energy is going to be transferred to the golf ball. So I have my club face 4 or 5 degrees open, ball still forward, toes pointing to the target slightly, and weight on that left hand side. And it's a slightly shorter swing than we had in the last. You can hear a little bit of the click of the golf ball because there's a little bit more contact with the ball. I'm not taking as deep a divot on this one or into the sand, purely because there's not enough sand to actually cut through. Whereas on the big fluffy lie, we can have this big explosion of sand coming through and the ball pops out nice and softly from it. Now when we've got the ball on wet sand, there is more chance of getting more spin because we are going to be impacting with the golf ball, so we're going to impart the spin from the grooves. When we're looking at working with the fluffy sand, there's less chance of spinning the ball back at all or getting it to, it will just release a little bit or stop dead if it's a slightly longer shot. But off the wet sand or the compact sand, it's a little bit easier to get some spin on the golf ball. Now with this length of shot, I wouldn't be looking at trying to spin the ball. It's always going to release, so we have to allow for that with every bunker shot we play. But ultimately we just want to be able to get the ball out, and then you can have some fun practicing different variations of shots and changing the way the ball is going to react each time. But thanks for watching, happy golfing, and I'll see you all soon.